Everyone, so this video is going to be my end of April updates, and I'm going to start with my new acquisitions. I'm going to do another part to this filming tomorrow, as I am going to pick up some more plants tomorrow. So this is part one of new plants. So these plants I got at our April show and sale, and then these two I got at our last meeting. This was my only planned purchase, and it's Cloecia amazonica. The rest were kind of impulse buys, but I think I got some good gems here. So this one is Dendrobium tobaense, and I was pretty happy to see this plant for sale because if you watch my previous videos, the flask that I had for this, or the seedlings from the flask, all died. So I'm really happy to have this plant. It's not very big, but it's very healthy. And this one is Paraphalaenopsis serpentingula. Not the best roots, but I mean, it was mounted before, but this is something I'm gonna pot up. At some point I will hang it, but for now I'm just going to have it like this until the new roots come in. And this is a new to me genus. It's a Habaneria Medusae. So I was kind of thinking, well, do I want this? And then on I think it was Saturday I was volunteering, and I just said, you know what, just get it, because I've never grown this plant and I really like the flowers, so why not? So this one is potted up in kind of small bark and what else, charcoal and perlite. I bought the special mix for it, and then I just have some sphagnum on top, and in the morning I spray this so it's damp, and then I have it covered with a plastic bag, and this plastic bag has some holes in it. It was previously for produce, so at least some airflow. But yeah, I'm really excited to try this plant. A little nervous to rot it because I know I have to be careful with the tuber, but otherwise, yeah, I'm really happy to have this one. And this one is Epidendrum gastropodium. I really like the flowers, but I didn't see the culture guide when I put my raffle ticket at the raffle table. So this is supposedly a cool growing plant, so we'll see how it'll do in my environment. Right now it's 26 degrees inside, so pretty warm, and it's only gonna get warmer in the summer, so if it's lucky, it'll survive. And this one is Phal Sogo Perfume. I did not purchase this plant. It was a gift from the Society for Volunteering, so that's really nice. Not something I would buy personally, but can't complain. As you can tell, I didn't have any time to pot it up, but I will probably have this hanging somewhere. So one thing I want to try this year is to use slow release fertilizer. And we had a member in our society import this mole coat. It's from Japan, and we heard about it from when Equigenera came to our society to have a talk, and they mentioned that they use this one, so we wanted to try it, so we had it imported, so I bought this big container that I will use this year. So we'll see how that improves, if it improves anything. Okay, so this is day 2 of my new plants. So those two I had ordered, and then that one was an impulse buy today. So this one is Dendrobium shrautii, and I got this to replace my Dendrobium cariniferum. The flowers are pretty similar, but I think these ones are actually upside down. Alright, so now since I have this plant, I think I'm actually done collecting the black-haired Dendrobiums. I think I've got every representative of each kind of distinct flower type that I wanted. So all I need to do is get them all to bloom. And if any dies, then I'll need to get a replacement. But in terms of the collection, I think I'm done. And this is a new to me genus. This is Anoetochilus roxburghii Milky Way. So this is the first time I ever purchased a jewel orchid. I know people grow them for the leaves, but I also want a nice flower, and I think this one has a nice flower. So I bought this one. A little nervous. I'll probably pot it up the same way I potted up my Habaneria Medusae. And this one was a impulse buy today. It's Rudolfiella saxicola, and I think that's either a new growth or a spike. I think it's a new growth, but I'm not sure. So yeah, these are my 3 Sunday plants. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna go through the rest of my collection. I did have some losses / I gave some stuff away, but I'll put that all at the end. Right, so one thing that's changed is I put my Pelatantheria ctenoglossum in this location just because I think the other one, it was way too close to the light. You can see how small the leaves are as it gets taller, so I'm hoping that because there's more distance between the light and the plant that it'll grow a bit better, but we'll see. I don't remember if I put it in my last video, but I'm just going to go over my Gongora portentosa. Basically, the issue I have is that this plant kind of grows, or when I planted it, I put this more vertical, but the plant kind of grows like this. So this part was growing underneath. So what I did was I potted it in this mesh, and it's kind of on the side, kind of halfway in the pot, if that makes sense. So it's not really potted in the pot. It's kind of tilted so that this side can grow properly. I don't like the way this looks, but it's kind of like a stopgap. So at least that part will be fine. I think I need to find a better solution for this, but for now, this is what it's going to be. So these are my two Vandas. So this one is Vanda coerulescens, and this one is Aerides houlletiana. I don't like the way they're growing here. I think the light, although it's very bright, it's not bright enough all year. So what I'm planning to do is put these in pots or vases and then have these grown under lights, because at least the light will be consistently directly above, which is what I would like for it. Just an update on this plant. It was in spike. This is Paraphalaenopsis subparishii, and you can see it never actually bloomed. So what I might try is put this over there in that covered area. And this is my Paraphalaenopsis labucensis crossed with Fidenia mitrata, and it bloomed. I actually had this at our show when it was in bud, hoping that it would open during the show. Unfortunately, it didn't really do that, maybe a few flowers, but now it's in full bloom. Really great coloration on it. Are my Vanda leucostelle seedlings. I moved them on my top shelf since I ended up throwing away some of the plants because they were too far gone in terms of the fungus. So this one is fine. There was one plant there that I removed. These are another pair of seedlings. And then there's these ones on the bottom shelf that have survived. And this is my RYC Taiwan Firecracker era. Has a new growth here. And this is my Cloecia Rebecca Northern, and it's starting a new growth. This is Cattleya schilleriana. Don't remember if I showed it in a previous video, but this is relatively new to me. Actually, when I bought it, it split into two plants, so this is actually two plants. It has a new growth on this side here. This is my Leptodes bicolor. It was in bud at one point, but they never bloomed. I did have a very stressful few weeks, so some of my plants did get neglected. That's an unfortunate consequence, but it'll bloom again. And this is my Galeandra barrii, and it has I think 4 new growths, so that's really good. And this is my Bulbophyllum anandele. It had a bunch of spots on its leaves, which I had cut off, and it's growing outside the pot, so I think I need to repot this. So I did end up getting a Chysis aurea, and it's establishing well in the rock wool. You can see the roots there. Seems pretty happy so far. These are my frag seedlings, and they're doing pretty well. I'm wondering if I should take them out and pot them up properly. I kind of don't want to because I think I have a habit of touching my plants a lot, and when they're seedlings like this, they don't do super well, so I might wait. This is my Catasetum gladiatorium crossed with barbatum, and I decided to move it here because I got rid of one plant, and I've decided to put a few of my Cattleyas outside. I'll talk about that later. So there's more space here for this plant. It looks kind of dehydrated. Haven't watered it yet. I sprayed it a little bit actually, but no real proper watering. And I can see 3 new growths starting. I might repot this, I might not. We'll see. These are my Dendrobium lowii seedlings. They're doing pretty well, especially this one. I will resist the urge to separate them. So for now, they're just going to stay in this container. And this is Cattleya mossiae. This is one of the latest growths, and it has a sheath. I don't see anything in the sheath yet. I remember from one talk that Fred Clark gave, he said that in order to get really good blooms, you really have to give it a dry rest. Problem is I don't remember when the rest is supposed to be. I mean, overall it's doing well, so we'll see if anything will come out of that. And this is Dendrobium virginium. It had this growth previously, but it died, but it's pushed out a new one since, so that's good. And that's Dendrobium draconis and has 2 new growths. Well, that's new, and that was previously new. And this is Dendrobium chapaense and has this new growth. And this is Galeotia fimbriata. It's not doing super good. I had a list of plants I wanted to give away, and I was kind of waffling on whether I should give this one away. But I don't really want to because this is it's kind of a unique genus in my collection, so I want to keep it, but I think it needs to be in a smaller pot. And I think if I use the slow release fertilizer, it might do better. So I'm probably going to repot this one. And this is my Bulbophyllum Princess Bajaratana. And I was happy that it bloomed for me, but it had that one growth and leaf that was like quite spotted. So I decided just to take that off. And nothing else has happened since. And I just noticed there's another bud right there. So if I'm lucky, it'll bloom for me again. This is Bulbophyllum sanguineo punctatum, and it's finally pushed out a new growth. I think actually I might, I don't know, I think I need to find a way to make this more humid because it's drying very quickly. And it's only gonna get hotter here. So I might give it a tray with some water. And this is my Pelatantheria monachica, and the blooms are finally died. I think it was my best bloom this year so far, so I'm very happy with it. And this is my Phal javanica in bloom. You can tell by the leaves, they don't look super great. I did buy some Epsom salt, so today everyone's gonna get a bit of magnesium. Hopefully that will help. It's probably not gonna fix these leaves, but at least for the new leaf that comes in, hopefully it'll be better. So for this kind of cakey looks pretty okay. And this is my Dendrobium ex uste, and I'm debating on throwing this out. It does have a couple new growths, but it tends to consistently get fungus, like the kind of black spotting, and compared to other people that have this plant, it's so small. And I was talking to another member about sometimes it's just worth it to toss plants out and then get a better one. So I think one of my goals this year is to be more ruthless about getting rid of plants that aren't doing well, because I do spend a lot of time trying to fix plants only for them to like die when I can have a healthy plant and it do well for me. So this gets one more chance, and then if not, then I'm just gonna toss it. This is my Miltassia Charles M. Fitch. It has new growth. It does have some spider mites, so I sprayed it and it's currently being isolated. And now I'm going to go through the orchids that I have put outside. I've put everything behind this green mesh because I'm a little bit paranoid about things burning. I mean, I already put my cacti behind there, so we'll see how that goes. I'm also concerned it might be blocking too much light, but this is a southwest facing balcony, so it gets super hot and super bright. And this is my Stanhopea. You can see the leaf is already damaged, so maybe this is not the best spot for it. I think it needs a high in the day, low, and like really low at night, so that's why I want to keep it outside. It does dry out really easily though, and I might want to change the media as well. This is my RLC Durgan. I'm hoping I can trigger it to bloom. My SLC World Vacation Shibuya Sunset. And this is my LC Mini Purple Princess Road that I also want to bloom. I just moved my Stanhopea up there, so hopefully that'll be a bit better. Alrighty, so that's my video for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!